So this video is going to be about 15 minutes long. Might as well just listen to it because I'm just sitting down and talking to the camera. I'm not actually doing anything. So if you're in the middle of doing dishes or if you're doing a project or whatever, just something to listen to. It's not something you actually have to watch. So just thought I would come on here and let you guys know. The smell of my chapstick. Hey everybody. Carly, you're gonna have to sit down. Can you sit down? I thought now I would just sit down with the camera and explain what's been going on in my life physically, and basically this video is going to be the first video of a recovery video for me. Can I help you with something? Okay, sit down, lay down. You can lay down here. Yeah, you're a good dog. With my dog, Carly. Okay, so it's gonna be a story time, I guess. So about 2 years ago, no, I'm gonna start back when Brent and I got married. So we got married, and a month after we got married, we ended up getting pregnant. And it wasn't planned, but we were still extremely excited and ready to welcome this baby into our home. Unfortunately, at 12 weeks, we miscarried. And after that, we waited the winter out, and when summer came, we wanted to get pregnant. And unfortunately, it just wasn't working. So I thought, well, okay, it's not working, I might as well do something I want to do. So I started swimming, and I swam and I swam and I swam, and I got to the point of where I wanted to be a lifeguard. So I had been talking to the lifeguard trainer here at the aquatic center in our town, and I was now training to start the training process of being a lifeguard. So just my own personal training, swimming speed and different kinds and stuff. And when it got to the point of where I was ready to sign up for lifeguard training, one of the days that I was swimming, I got an extremely bad dizzy spell, and that freaked me out. My husband and I ended up just leaving the pool, and that weekend, or during that week, or sometime, I forget when it was, I had another really bad dizzy spell. And so my husband took me to the ER, and they figured I just had fluid in my ears and it would clean out on its own. It would just take a couple of weeks. So I waited those couple of weeks and it wasn't clearing up. And then I ended up getting pregnant that fall. So it was end of October I ended up getting pregnant. And right around 8 or 9 weeks, I think I was 9-ish weeks. Yeah, somewhere around there. My dizziness came back, and with morning sickness, it just wasn't good. So now we went back to the ER to get this figured out. And it was in the evening. We went to the hospital around like 8 or 9 in the evening. And they figured maybe I was just severely congested in my sinuses. So they put me on a steroid nasal spray. And it was staying up in my head area. It wasn't going down to the baby, so they said it was safe for me to take it. So I started taking that, and while I was on that, I noticed that my dizziness had cleared up. So I think some of it was nasal congestion. And later on in my pregnancy, I got some dizzy spells again, but they kind of were on and off, and I thought maybe it just had to do with being pregnant. And after Connor was born, obviously I had them during postpartum, just from being low in iron and whatnot. And we got home, and I had been feeling okay, but my dizzy spells were on and off, and I just basically learned to live with it. And then I'm not sure what happened. I think they totally cleared up there for a bit, and I was doing really good. So this year it had been a really good year with how I was feeling. And then I got pregnant again this past summer, and as you already know, we miscarried at 7 weeks. And then a month after, we got pregnant again, and I had a chemical pregnancy and lost that baby at 4 weeks. And from there, my dizzy spells just kept getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And now it's to the point of where I'm not driving. I don't even like doing things at home. I don't want to exercise. I don't want to get out of bed in the morning, and it's just getting really bad. And it's causing really unnecessary anxiety. So I spoke to a naturopathic doctor in a city an hour from where we live, and he thinks I am iron deficient. And I got my blood work done periodically over the past 2 years, and yeah, I do have low iron, but I was taking iron, and then my doctor said it was in the low side of normal. So she said it was normal and I should be fine. But this naturopathic doctor thinks that it may be on the low side of normal, but it's still too low for my own personal health, and we need to build it up. So he wants to get access to my health records and see where it's sitting at and put me on an iron supplement. But along with that, he thinks the reason I'm miscarrying, after I explained some of my own hormone problems to him, he thinks I am low on progesterone. So we had to get to the root problem of that. And I talked about some of the other things I've been experiencing, and he strongly believes that I have an unhealthy gut. And so he's putting me on a bunch of, well, he wants me to do a certain test, but it is quite an expensive test, and we're going to wait till after Christmas to do it because we've got other expenses happening right now. So after Christmas, I'll be doing a certain test, and that's going to pinpoint exactly where my gut is at and where health is at, and he's going to put me on medication to help me get through that. So, but before Christmas, like, we're going to the city this weekend, hopefully, and I'm gonna be picking up some of the meds that I can start with now and hopefully get my gut health figured out and my hormones balanced. And quite honestly, I think my dizziness would go away if my anxiety would go down, and he believes anxiety can also come from an unhealthy gut. A hormone imbalance can come from an unhealthy gut. So we're going to get that all figured out. And I just figured I would start this video, my health journey, start it now and see where it takes me and give updates, basically for my own personal preference, so I can see where I was and where I'm hopefully going to be a couple months down the road. My husband and I are really hoping to be pregnant this spring. That's what we really want. But we're going to take it one day at a time, 1 month at a time, and we're going to trust God that he's going to bless us with another healthy pregnancy when the timing is right. And until then, we're going to live healthy. We're going to enjoy having, you know, Connor as our only child. And as I'm sitting here talking to the camera, it feels like everything is kind of shifting like this. Like, that's how my dizziness is. How I try to explain it to Brent, like, it feels like there's a big bucket of water in my head, and because my head keeps moving, the water keeps splooshing back and forth, and my head can't seem to keep up with it, and it drives me up the wall. I don't like driving. If I can avoid getting in the car and driving, I will. I'd way rather just be a passenger, but I know I can't live life like that. My husband works full-time. Connor has appointments here and there, and I have to drive him to them, and we've got other functions happening here during the holidays, and I quite frankly can't just always sit at home. I've got to get this figured out, and I can't just avoid driving all the time. But I haven't really opened up to a lot of people about how I'm feeling. Basically, just my family knows, and Brent, and now you guys. And if you are praying people, I'd really appreciate prayers, because living life like this is not fun. I feel like I can't even be the mom that Connor needs me to be. I can't be the wife that Brent needs me to be. I can't be the homemaker that I want to be. And I wouldn't say I've hit depression, but I think it's getting there where I can't even experience, like, I have joy. I've got the joy of the Lord living inside of me. I still have that, and I know I'm blessed, and I've got good family and friends around me that will support me and pray for me and be there for me. But I feel like I can't be happy because I'm constantly feeling gross, and with being dizzy comes nausea, and with my hormone imbalance, there are days where I actually literally feel morning sick. And I'm not pregnant, so I don't want to feel morning sick if I'm not carrying a little baby. Yeah, so that's what's been going on in my life for the past 2-ish, 3 years. And I'm hoping this is going to be the worst video to make, and from here on out, it's only going to get better. I so badly want it to just get better. I don't want to feel like this anymore. And especially with the holidays coming now, I want to be able to get out and do things with friends and family and not have to worry about my dizziness and just have fun. I just want to have fun. Just thought I'd say a couple more things. With anxiety, somebody I'm quite close to has dealt with anxiety almost her entire life, and she also went and saw this doctor that I'm talking to, and he did wonders for her. She basically has her life back, and she didn't before. And so now I'm really hoping that I will get my life back, the life that the Lord has blessed me with. But when it comes to anxiety, one thing she told me was, well, the one time I had a really bad anxiety attack, I think I texted her or gave her a phone call or something. I started talking to her and I explained to her how I was feeling, and she had said, well, how much sugar have you had today? Well, evidently that day I had kind of splurged on just those little mini chocolate bars. And she asked, okay, how much caffeine have you had? Well, I'm pretty sure as we were speaking, I was downing a cup of coffee, because that's just who I am. And she said, well, there's your problem. With her anxiety attacks, she found when she had too much sugar or too much caffeine, she got her anxiety back. Even now, even though she basically has her life back, when she has too much sugar, caffeine, that's what happens. So for about, it's been, I think, over a month already, I haven't touched caffeinated coffee besides like a sip here from Brent's Coffee or a sip there, but I haven't had a cup of coffee. Oh yeah, I did. Last week I think I had a cup of coffee at my parents' place while I was visiting. So that was one cup, and the next day I had anxiety and it wasn't good. But for the most part, I've been staying away from caffeinated, and I found a really good Swiss water decaf coffee, and you can even taste that it's decaf. And when it comes to decaffeinated coffee, I'm quite picky on the kind. It has to be Swiss water. I won't drink decaffeinated coffee unless it's Swiss water, just because it's a healthier process to make it caffeine free. And it's the Kicking Horse brand, and I will link it down below. You can find it on Amazon. It is really good coffee for someone who is a coffeeaholic. I needed something, and I've been trying to cut back on sugars, but also being a chocoholic, or a chocolateholic, a chocolateaholic. I don't know how you would even say that. I'm addicted to chocolate. I love chocolate, so cutting back on that, I'm trying to increase more natural sugars in my diet, so like fruits. And one thing this naturopathic doctor told me after explaining some of my symptoms after certain foods I've eaten, he thinks I need to eat more foods high in fiber and less grains. He thinks I have a slight intolerance to dairy and a slight intolerance to gluten. So I'm supposed to cut back on dairy, and when I have bread or any kind of wheat, I'm supposed to be taking, it's called Wheat Rescue. And he wants me to cut back on certain meats, especially red meats, because it makes my gut unhappy. So that's going to be a challenge for us, because we're Mennonites, and if you're a Mennonite and you've had Mennonite sausage, or as we call it, varsht, it's not that easy to cut out as one of our favorite things. It's a treat in this house. And now it's literally going to become a special occasion treat. That's going to be hard. We're going to be eating now more white meat and more different high in protein foods. Not necessarily meat, but things like beans and I think they're called legumes. Or I don't know. But yeah. there's a little life update for you. And I hope we see a difference in my health. So as I'm sitting here editing this video, I just thought I'd pop on and say a few things after, you know, watching and listening to all that. One, I didn't make this video to get sympathy. I basically made it so that when I do end up seeing progress in my health, I can go back and see where I was and see where I'm going, and just for encouragement, I guess. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.